Hey guys, it's Primoz. As you can see, I'm in my living room. It's kind of cleaned up more than usually. Just came back from a workout, so pretty tired, not shaved, not professional. So I'm just trying out this new thing where I just want to record some videos to just like add value to more people to really show what being an entrepreneur is like without all the professional setups. So don't expect like a cleaned up kitchen every time. Don't expect me to be nicely dressed all the time, things like that. I just want to share some real talk, some real uncensored stuff of what's going on in the entrepreneurial world or in my world, and just take you on a journey. Because I think an important thing is to just put yourself out there all the time. And if you're hiding all the time, and if you're not putting yourself out there, if you're not spreading the word about what you do, then it's just really hard to to actually grow your business. You got to put yourself out there. You got to become more present, and that's why I'm doing this. So what you can expect from this series, just basically a day-to-day of what's going on in my life. I'm probably not going to post every day because I'm not good at that. But whenever I do make a video like this, I'm going to try to make it awesome. So it's going to be raw, uncensored, uncut. There might be swearing. There's going to be good times when I'm excited. There's going to be bad times. I might, do videos from random parts of the world, from the kitchen, from the bed. I don't know. Just going to have some fun with it and see where it goes. And, if it goes well, if you guys like it, I'll keep doing it. And if not, then, maybe not so much. But yeah, just wanted to do this. So let's talk. It's been a pretty fucking hard week, honestly, last week. What I did is I went to this entrepreneurial retreat last weekend. So basically over the last week, I pretty much spent the whole week in Portugal, in the south of Portugal, in Algarve, in a hotel where over the first few days, I was just hanging out with a couple of fellow entrepreneurs. Some of them were my past students where I worked with Remit Sadie in Accelerator. Some of them were my current students. And yeah, we're just there, having fun, hanging out, and so on and so on. Now, I do want to say that, it was an awesome experience, and it was, but it could have been a better experience for me. And, all of this is my fault, honestly. I won't blame anybody else. So basically what happened is, before this, over the last few weeks or so before I actually went to Portugal, I was thinking, hey, I'm going to have a vacation anyway, so I should push myself. I should work as hard as possible now so that I can take a break later. And that worked okay for a while, but, I fucked up because I didn't really take the time for myself. So all of the things, that I would do over the weekend, take a break from work, go to a spa or something like that, work out, kind of stopped doing those things, in order to get more work done. And I took on a couple of too many projects, that I could handle. And I just became really stressed out, really burnt out, and it just wasn't a very fun experience. So I did have a lot of fun during the weekend. We played some miniature golf, spent some time by the pool, ate a shitload of food, and overall it was fun. But I know that I wasn't at my best because I kind of had this idea that I would come there and I would be instantly recovered. But honestly, for the first few days, I still felt like shit. So I had to go to my room and just take a nap for an hour every afternoon, because I was so tired, so burnt out, and it was hard for me to engage in group conversations. And all of those things, that happen when I'm not at my best, when I'm not energized, and so on and so on. And also I noticed that I started being really negative, which was kind of annoying to me. And I made all of this, stupid jokes and everything. And I do make those jokes, but, I kind of like even became annoying to myself. I was like, okay, why do you have to be so negative? Why do you have to make so many jokes? Why can't you, just be more excited and positive and, talk to people a bit nicely? So I'm not happy that I wasn't at my best. And it's a great lesson for the future, to just, whenever I go to a place like this, make sure I first take a few days to recover if I'm going to push myself hard. And also to not push myself and, work myself to death. Even, if I'm taking a vacation, I should still take the time to recover, to rest, and so on, so on. So, what happened basically after I was feeling so burned out, I was feeling unhappy. I was even feeling depressed. I was like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my business? I'm on this beach location. I should be having fun. And yet here I am in my room, feeling really depressed. What I did is I reached out to some of my friends, Mark Aarons and Diana Tower. We used to work together with, I Will Teach You to Be Rich with Ramit Sethi and run his accelerator program, but we still hang out nowadays, every week, and we're really good friends. So I told him like, hey guys, in the evening at like 11 or 12 p.m., I was like, I'm really struggling. I'm really, feeling like shit. We've just done this thing and it was good, but I know I wasn't at my best. So what the fuck did I do? And they were candid with me and they said, hey, maybe you've just been pushing yourself a little bit too hard. Maybe you should really take some rest, because if you don't take care of yourself, then you won't be able to be at your best, and you won't be able to serve your clients well, and so on and so on. So as that happened, I realized, of course, that they were right, and I did need to take some care of myself. And it was hard because I already had a coaching call scheduled with my students the next day for my Ultimate Guide System course. I had some other commitments that I felt like I needed to work on, but at that point, I was just like, I really need to take care of myself. Otherwise, I'm just going to work myself to death, not have a vacation. And I can always work later when I, come back to Ljubljana and I'm not, on this beach location. So I might as well get the best out of it. So the next thing I did was actually really hard because, it's hard to, tell your students, hey, we're not having a call tomorrow because I really need to recover. So I can be at my best. It was a really hard thing to do, but I knew it was the right thing to do. So I sent out an email to my students and explained what happened to them and said like, hey guys, can we skip the call this week? And if you need feedback on your guides, on your ultimate guides, I can still give you feedback through, Slack or something like that, which is the chat platform that we're using, when I'm on the plane. But is it okay to skip the call this week and just continue the next week? And that was the first thing that I did. I canceled that so I could have the whole, day next day to kind of like stop working on that and, just to relax and maybe play some golf or, eat some food, lay by the pool to really recover and get back, to my best. So as I did that, I wasn't sure what kind of response to expect from people because I felt really bad. I felt really guilty for doing this because I promised people we would have a call, but it just wasn't good for me. In the state that I was at, I knew I couldn't deliver a super high quality call to them. And, I also wouldn't get the most out of this vacation and I wouldn't be recovered and I would continue to be burnt out for the next few days. Sent out an email, explained to my students what happened. And then what happened next really surprised me, actually. A lot of the students wrote back and they were actually like, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for taking care of yourself and, just showing us, what kind of a leader you are and leading by example. So you don't just tell other people to take a break, but you also do it yourself when you're really, really burnt out. And that really blew me away because I didn't expect that kind of response from multiple people. And they're like, let's continue next week. They were really understanding. So I think it was definitely the right thing to do. I still can feel kind of guilty, it's like, we could have had the call, but I know it was the right thing to do. And next week, we're going to have a freaking awesome call. Now, the other thing that I did is I signed up for this project that was kind of like a reality TV show about, being an entrepreneur, kind of like doing something like this, just recording videos, working on a project and so on and so on. And I had this project, but when I signed up for it, I was supposed to be recording daily videos and updates. And, I was supposed to be a project that I was working on. And I wanted to make my project an ultimate guide that I wanted to write. But as I committed to that project, there was so much other shit going on in my business because I got a really amazing guest post opportunity. I wanted to work with my students, add a lot of value to them. I wanted to keep communicating with my email list. And for a few weeks, I just never got to it. And I felt really guilty for not doing it. And I was like, shit, I'm such a failure. I should be working on this guide. And there was a really tight, deadline for it, like 2 months or something like that. And there were like 3 weeks have gone by and I recorded like 2 videos. And I just felt really, really shitty. And I felt so much pressure because I felt like I really needed to work on that. But then also I needed to finish that guest post. I also needed to take care of my students. I needed to take care of myself. I just couldn't see a way that would happen. So it was really hard for me, but I wrote, another email to the person. I was like, hey, I wish I could take part in this, but right now at this stage, I'm sorry, but I think I overcommitted. and I'm going to have to get out of this project because there's just no way it's getting done. Because the last thing that you want to do in your business is, work on something under pressure, under a tight deadline, just for someone else. Because I didn't want to publish an ultimate guide that was not the best ultimate guide that I could publish, and I didn't want to, I didn't want the ultimate guide to affect the other things that I was already working on in my business. I didn't want to have a negative effect on the guest posts that I was doing. And also it felt shitty because I know that I function best when I just work on one thing at a time. And when I'm working on 7 things at a time, I just knew like, hey, I need to set some boundaries. I need to maybe stop doing some of these things, to kind of like stop feeling so burnt out and so stressed out. And so that's what I did. I sent out that email and I was like, hey, thanks so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. But, I'll be honest, I overcommitted, I burned myself out, and think it's not going to work out for us. And kind of sucks because I didn't get a response yet. So I'm not expecting to get a response. And maybe even I said, no response necessary. But it felt shitty, but also it felt like the right thing to do. Because if I do something, I want to do it great. I don't want to publish a half-assed ultimate guide because people see that. They see that something is not finished. And that would be against my values. So I let go of that project. And I was like, hey, really sorry, I wish I could have done this. But, it was my mistake. I messed up. I owned up to it. And kind of sucks because it's the worst feeling in the world. And, I almost never do that. But, in this situation, it was like, do I want to maintain my sanity or, do I want to keep burning myself out, which would just lead to a lot more negative consequences. So that's pretty much what happened. And for the next few days after that, I was like, hey, I'm not going to be working anymore. And I just said like, I'm going to work on something if I really want to. Otherwise, I'm just going to take some time off. I already canceled the calls with my clients, so I didn't have that scheduled. I canceled my group coaching call, and I basically just had a few days to relax. And it was fucking awesome. It was the best thing that I could have done. I just went on and played some rounds of golf, chilled by the pool, ate some food, spent some time with my girlfriend, which was really important to me that I'm not just working in the room. I did get actually some work done on the last day because I was like, I'm feeling awesome and I have this idea and I want to make it work. And slowly but surely, I started getting more excited about my business again. I got all of these ideas, all the things that I could do. So it was no longer like, I should be doing this and this and this. It was, I want to do this and this and this. And I was excited to do it. And when I stopped feeling so burned out, after I took a few days off, I already got my creative energy back. I pretty much rewrote almost half of the guest post on basically one of the flights yesterday. And now it's about 100 times better. So I'm super excited for that. I managed to crank out, another blog post for my email list and for my website this morning. It's also in like an hour or so that I'm really, really happy about. And I got some amazing epiphanies for my business that I might share, in one of these future videos. Just yesterday in the evening at midnight at the airport, as I was preparing to drive back to Slovenia. So things are so much better right now. Made a lot of really tough decisions over the last few days, but really happy with them, really excited with how things are going. And we'll see what comes next. It's Friday right now. So cranked out an awesome blog post, went to the gym. I'm going to publish the blog post soon, so that should be fun. It's a good day. Got to get some more work done and then get some more rest over the weekend so I don't end up in this situation again. And then, on Tuesday, I'm traveling to New York to just hang out at Selena Sue's business anniversary party and a mastermind, hang out with some cool people in there. Again, I'll have to be careful to not overcommit to meeting too many people because that's what I tend to do at these times. But it should be fun. And I'm excited to get back in on this. Now, if you watch this video, a couple of things. One, if you liked it, let me know, either in the Facebook comments or in the comments below. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Two, if you want to, get more of these videos, then just subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's not going to be any fancy pop-ups or anything, but you know where the subscribe button is. Might do some more of this in the future. We'll see how it goes. And last but not least, well, if you don't know me yet, then definitely come visit my websites. If you want to learn how to grow your email list really fast, get more clients for your business, or if you're interested in, ultimate guides, then definitely check it out. Link should be below. yeah, that's it. Nice talking to you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. We'll see. Today, tomorrow, I don't know. We'll see. Take care, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.